Hey y'all. So in the last video that I did, I started with this and then I got carried away with the vinyl for our vinyl people. Um, in this particular case for this SVG, I was talking about how would you go about changing the colors of the bow and the glasses. And if you open it up, you can see that the person who was working on this, they actually grouped them. So they have the black part, which is the whole outline. And then if you were going to cut this out in vinyl or paper or something, say you were cutting this out, the pink, and then you place it on top, or you pretty much piecing, or if it's not paper piecing, it'd be layer piecing. If you was using vinyl, you would keep the outline from the black part, and then the pink part will go on top of it. Or even if you was doing like a sticker or a decal or something like that. Um, if at this point when you open it up, per se, like the way that this person designed this file, you can see everything grouped together. But you decided, I want to make this like a picture and I want to paint it, I want to print it off for a printed cut or whatever, and I want to change the colors. Well, the same thing applies like I did in the last video where you would come in and you would click the palette and then you would look at your fill. And then because you're not looking at a stroke, because we have the black stroke all around the outside, if you wanted to change this to a pattern, you could. I don't really use patterns, and you can always bring it into like Cricut design space and like slice it out of a pattern you might have loaded there. But for the sake of preview, now I've just went over this with the pattern fill, or I'm previewing a pattern fill. I didn't necessarily accept it, right? So cancel this. Now, a lot of people right now are into, say, rhinestones. And say I have this picture and I want to put this on a shirt and I want to put this in vinyl or sublimate this. And if you were going to sublimate this and you were going to keep the color as is, then you would save this or export it as a PNG or a JPEG, and you bring it into your design space or whatever cutter software that you have, and um you would have to make a template for the rhinestones for you to be able to like brush in all your stones. And if you was gonna cut it out in flock, or you was gonna cut it out on um, cardstock or glitter paper or whatever you make your rhinestone designs in. Sometimes the simplest things are like just to do with the bigger space and not worry about the other one. So say for instance with you being a newbie, or because this video is for newbies, and you wanted to take the glasses and you wanted to rhinestone the glasses, and the bow was going to be the same color as the glasses anyway, but you just want to have big rhinestones or rhinestones on top of the glasses. So what I'll do is I go layer duplicate and I bring it to the top, and then I'm gonna hide this. I'm gonna look at this and I'm gonna wonder, do I want to have the glasses be full up with rhinestones, or do I want to have an inset inside where um, it's a border inside of the object, and then that's filled up with the rhinestones. For this particular case, I'm not gonna go like too advanced because this is supposed to be just for beginners. So let's just turn these part of the glasses into a rhinestone template. So I'm gonna zoom in 75% just so I can see it a little bit better. And with me still being on this layer, and remember, a lot of the effects that they have inside of Scal, they have to work with vectorized parts. They will not do it if it's just a PNG. So if this was just a PNG you brought in, you won't be able to right click and turn this into a rhinestone, um, or turn it into like a template. So anyway, when you right click on the glasses, you go appearance and rhinestones. This is what you get. This is why a lot of people are buying this software currently right now. Here's where I want you to pay mostly, like, don't be discouraged by all of these numbers. When you look at stones, they all come in different sizes and they all have ranges. Um, for instance, SS10 stones are the most common used stones, and then probably SS6, and then they could go like 16, 20, so on and so forth. When I look at my stones and I'm making my designs, I'm looking at the inches. Well, how big of the circle, what's the diameter of the circle that I'm actually cutting the holes for it to brush in? Because from who I currently have stones from, they say cut 0.135. I choose SS14, not clicking SS10 because it says SS10 and then it has these things. But in the previous video I did about rhinestones, I have this explained in the video. So anyway, like I said, SS14 is Scal talk for this in inches. And you want to make sure that you click which rhinestone type you're looking at, and then you can press preview. Now, if I fill in the shape and I press preview, I can see now, like, all of this is on top of the glasses. The rhinestones are on both sides of the glasses, and I can leave this just as it is. But say I wanted to make this a little bit tighter, right? I can, in the stone spacing, I can click down some and click preview, and I could get a fuller look, right? Then say I'm good with this one, but for the sake of I'm just brand new and I like this one starting off, I'm just gonna go with the 2 mm spacing, stone spacing, and I'm gonna click OK. So at this point, I'm gonna lock this so that it doesn't interfere with me interacting with this layer that's on top. And the color of these rhinestones, what they look like, are just those that you see here. There is no stroke for these currently. It's just the color of the stones. And you would, if you are visual and you decided you were going to use pink stones or you was going to cut this out in red, then you could go and turn this color red so that it gives you a better visual. But also, like, if you use a particular color shirt and you was going to try to say, oh, I want to put this on like a black shirt, you could click um, show page color and then change the color to blue if that was the color you were going to use, and then see what it would look like. But most of the things that I do, I don't never change the color. I just keep it as is. Anyway, so once you've had the design with the rhinestone set as you want, you click on that layer and then you go right click, break apart. Then I will go, once you see all the circles are there, you go um, make sure that it's connected. You go right click, merge. All of these circles, which you can't currently see because they're all pink, and that's why you see them cutting outside of the glasses. I'm going to change this to, say, a dark blue, and then boom. Now if I come out and I do back to fit this window, this right here, this image here, I would take this and I would save this as a PNG. And for that matter, because I didn't save it as a draw or anything when I previewed this, just for the sake of previewing it, you can look at my other video where I showed you how to do print cuts. You would see that if this was just vinyl and I was cutting it out, everything would be cut out in the vinyl because this is all what the red lines are for. If I had saved this as a PNG, first, and bring it in, and then I do a out contour around it, and I save it as a print and cut. When I preview it, then I'll see it is a print and cut. Because this is all SVG, this is situated that I would be doing this with vinyl. So I will cut this color out of the um in pink, and then I could cut out the back part of the glasses in pink. See? And then I would cut the rhinestones template out in paper or flock or whatever. I brushed them in, and then when I would finish heating this part of the design, I would place this on top of it. And then you could also like um, rhinestone the mom life. You could rhinestone the banner, but this is something where we're a starter. We're not looking at doing all the hard stuff. This is something simple, and say I want to try putting some bling on something. Okay, so these don't have to be hard. Like I said in the last video, if you have Scal, just play with it and don't be intimidated. And if you have like say SS6 stones or whatever size stones that you bought, say you might have bought some from Amazon, I did put a template out on how you can know from Scal sizes what should you use inside of your design without you having to do measuring them and stuff. If you know what your seller likes, the Rhinestone World says cut his SS6 templates at point 0.1. So when you go into the rhinestone part, you would actually be looking at point 0.1 to 0.106 probably, which may be SS10, but in reality it's SS6 stone. It's just the sizing of the circles that's being cut. And these right here are SS10 stones, but it shows as like SS14 just because they're um, 3 sizes or 2 sizes in terms of SS just for Scal. And I hope you don't get discouraged and get fed up with um, rhinestones and Scal, because it's just the way that they have everything set in terms of what's the inches for each of the diameter, or what's the diameter of each circle when you're cutting them out for your stone templates or for your rhinestone templates.